Episode of movies that used to scare me when I was younger. Of course, as you can see probably in the cover, I'm gonna talk about the big three, which obviously severely impacted me when I was a youngster. But then after that, I'm just gonna I'm just gonna spitball because I feel like this episode won't be too long because that's what I mean. Most of my episodes always are, but I'm saying I don't think this episode will be that long because again, I feel like I have little things to say, of course, about each movie, but that's it. And then when I think about it, I generally think that of course, like those movies, like these movies in specific, they are the only ones that generally like really impacted me. Like I meant like I feel like as a child, I don't even think I was like scared of like much, like as in of much. Like, you get what I mean? I meant when you're young, like of course you're scared of like lots of different things. Like I know that I haven't outgrown my fear of like spiders, but it's like you never really do. Like my fear of like spiders. I remember when I was also younger, so even again, this is gonna take me down a memory lane, of course. So even not just movies, but just nostalgia in general. But like I remember when I was younger as well, I used to be afraid of like pets, and that's very weird because I actually had a hamster, and I'm just saying, like, I don't know why I was afraid of like, like hamsters when they're so tiny. Like they're so small. I mean, they're so small, and like I remember like I had two, and like that's the only other I think it's the only other pet I've ever had actually in all of my life. Like I wish that I would have had like more pets as a person, because of course I meant I've only ever had hamsters, and I never had fishes or any of those stuff, but it was just only hamsters. And I'm saying I wish that I'd had like, I don't know, like a puppy or like a cat. But I do think now that I'm growing up, yeah, I'm realizing I don't think I want to own a pet, like as in maybe a cat so much. I think cats are great, but I also think about the fact that when it comes to cats, and I bear with me, right? But I do think that cats aren't really much of an animal that you can really do much with. Like they're quite, I want to say like most pets are very individual, but I mean not individual, independent. Sorry, independent, and I mean in the way that like I feel like cats are like super independent, but of course they want you to like I guess put out their food like dogs do, right? And I'm saying with dogs there's so much more that you can like do with them, right? And I meant like you take dogs out on walks, and like it's just that whole thing. So it's like, yeah, I just think it would be interesting. I mean, maybe a little puppy in my near future, but that would be it. But I do feel like even going back to dogs as well, actually I was severely afraid of dogs as well. So yeah, I mean I was severely afraid of dogs, but I got rid of that fear. Like this is also in this episode, right? I'm like to you guys, even though I was scared of those things, I got over those. I was afraid of like these movies as well, and I'm gonna say that I came out the other end. Like you can be like, I think with fears you can be so scared of something, but you're gonna get over it eventually. And I mean it even makes me think about like horror, I guess, as a genre, but it's like I don't know, like sometimes you just know whether or not you're a person that can take horror. I mean, because of course there's some people who like, can easily watch horror, and like horror is their favorite genre, and nothing really gets to them, and like I mean that's not me, like as in I've never been that though. But it's like I do think, as an adult I do feel like yeah, I do feel like I've gotten better at digesting horror as such anyways. Do you know what I mean? It's a bit more easier than it used to be. And I guess with that, we may as well begin about the movies. And I think, okay, if I had to think about all three of them and I had to put them in a ranking list of ones that impacted me the most as a young person, as a little pup, I would literally say that. Okay, I would say Spiderwink Chronicles at number one, probably Hulk at two, and Coraline at three, because yeah. I mean, because of course in this episode I will explain, but it's like I just feel like obviously Coraline takes the last, like takes number three, because I meant, like, of course I was afraid of it when I was younger, but it's like as it went on, it was like, yeah, as I started to watch it more, because I've obviously watched Coraline so many times. I can't tell you how many times I've watched that movie, and that's why people will be like, "Oh, Coraline's my comfort movie," and you'll look at that person sideways like, "What?" But I'm telling you, there's something about Coraline, even though it's supposed to be scary. And I mean, of course, when you're young, it's going to scare you. Like, it's obvious. The whole concept about buttoned eyes and that, like, of course, it's a bit like, whoa, it throws you off. But aside from that, the movie's very like relaxing, you know, the whole cat thing, going to another world, like it's all of that, you know. And everyone, I feel like otherworldly anyways is a huge genre that a lot of people love. Like, I'm telling you, when it comes to otherworldly, it's up there, because you're going to another world and that's amazing. Okay, so that's why, you know, you think of movies like Alice in Wonderland and that. So I'm saying, like, those are great. So the fact of the matter is, that's the only, as I said, the only scareful little thing that would be really spooky about Coraline, or what would have thrown me off anyway. So yeah, as a young person, the eye buttoning thing was probably the only thing. But I do think, again, I think to myself, actually, if I had to put my shoes into a very young person now and I was watching Coraline, like if I was like, I don't know, 3 years old, um I guess a one scene as well that I think would obviously really, like, would really traumatize a child is obviously, you know, it's when Coraline goes back home, obviously, for a bit, and then she decides to come back so she can face the other mother. So then the other mother's just sitting there, and she's there inside the living room, and she's just waiting, like, "Oh, Coraline, you came back. I mean, Coraline, you came back." And then of course she looks normal, and then she stands up, and then her whole body elongates, and we're like, "Whoa!" Well, I go, excuse me. Of course, I'm saying that would scare you, and then I can compare that to the fact that when I was younger and I watched the Hulk for the first time, when Bruce transforms into the Hulk, oh my gosh, that like literally changed my life, as in and I meant not even, as I said, of course, not in a good way, but it changed my life in the way that, yeah, I was really, really scared. And I think I remember, I feel like I might have burst into tears, I'm not too sure, but it really is a childhood core memory, because I remember being so close up to the television and see, do you mean, okay, first off, strike one anyway, like, what are we actually doing? Strike one, what are we doing? Why are we that close? It's like, I guess, with also, if you think about Coraline, it's like, if you probably, you might think, when you were younger, you might have gone to see Coraline in 3D back when it used to be in cinemas. But, and again, why would you do that though? That's the main thing. And I'm like to myself, the one thing that I can think, also another scene that would probably scare you if you were watching it in 3D as well, is especially when the dancing ladies obviously, like, they get all stretchy, like, of course they get all stretchy and they're all long, and then they have the eye that Coraline needs, and then they're like fighting her, and then their hands are like stretched out, and I can imagine that hand being stretched out right at you, and you're wearing the 3D glasses, and then, like, do you know what I mean, you just get like so like scared. That's what I mean. I can imagine that, and I think that compares, of course, to Bruce turning green. Like, I'm literally like, him turning green, it was just like, how could you turn green? That is so scary. I was like, stop. And I think I sometimes, I guess I still get scared of like jump scares, but that's normal. I'm telling you, you know, when people don't get scared of jump scares, there's something wrong with them. Like, you kind of probably have to be a little bit of a psychopath if you're not like gasping or like, I guess, jumping out of your seat, which, as I said, like, for a jump scare, that's what I'm saying, it's an actual normal valid reaction. Obviously, yeah, so obviously, like, those two scenes, I'm saying that would be the most two which would really scare you. But even though I just think Coraline as a whole, like, it's like, I think Coraline's the one I look back on the most. That's why I put it at 3 as being like, oh, it's not that scary. I don't even know why. I don't even know why I meant as a child that I was that scared of it. Like, I was like thinking, of course I'm not going to get my eyes buttoned, so what's really like, what is really what's really the fear in that, you know? And I know that people, that's the thing that people do about like making horror movies. They play into that whole thing. Like, they, I guess they bring alive your most worst fears, right? And it's like, I'm like to myself, but I've never thought about getting my eyes buttoned, so it's like I shouldn't even let it bother me, you know? That's the only way anything can ever really get under your skin, if you've really envisioned something like that. And then that's why that brings me on to like, obviously, a movie like Obsession and how it's so good, because again, like, we can all see ourselves in Nikki, and the whole thing of like your autonomy being stolen from you, so you don't even have any, you can't even do anything that you want to do, and you're just literally a shell of a person. So it's literally like, you can imagine being that, because that's what like love does to you, and love is such a powerful tool slash weapon. Do you get it? It can be used for both, and it's literally like, it's actually, that's why it's so frightening. Do you know what I mean? And then when you think about something like when you think about something like Sinners isn't even like, Sinners again, I mean, is scary, but it's also like, no, because as I've said, and I've talked about this before, because of like the whole vampirism thing, and I'm like, would I really be so scared to like, I guess, like, I don't know, would I be scared to die? I mean, I don't know. I mean, of course you'd be like, oh, yeah, and that, of course, that you would be scared to like what's it called, to I guess, yes, you would be scared to die, but less afraid, because you are going to continue living. So it's a whole thing. I just think that's what vampire movies like do. You know what I mean? They asked you the golden question. They're like, okay, would you throw away your entire life to become eternal? And that's, again, like, it's not supposed to really like frighten you, but again, it's meant to make you grasp and think about it. Do you get it? But this is the thing, that's just what I meant. Coraline, I don't get it. But for me, I feel like if I was to then like move on to do a comparison between the Hulk and Spiderwick Chronicles, one obviously we haven't touched on yet, do you know what I mean, in the conversation, but no, Spiderwick Chronicles, oh my gosh, like, Spiderwick Chronicles is such a great movie. First of all, off the bat, as I said, it's a great movie. I think it's great, and I think, yeah, it's one of those, again, I mentioned nostalgia earlier. It's a very nostalgic movie, and I think it's great. Like, that's what I mean. And you do remember it for that reason. But again, oh, okay, so this is what I mean. So with Hulk and Spider-Man Chronicles, they both too have a transformation scene. Well, then also Coraline does as well, like I said. But again, I'm saying those two in specific, both are Coraline's a transformation scene, which is quite scary. I feel like because Coraline's transformation scene is animated, I feel like that's why probably it lessens a little bit. You know, animation, of course, I love animation. I think it's a great like genre, of course, and that's why I meant, but I don't think, sometimes I would say animation doesn't scare you that much, even though if you think about somebody like even someone like Dr. Facilier, you'd be like, yeah, he has aura, he's scary. Do you get it? But I meant to myself that, though, I don't really get, like, I get the transformation scene of Coraline's didn't really scare me, but I'm saying I know that it would scare a young person now. Do you know what I mean? It would scare a young person now and today. I know that for sure. I said, don't show Coraline to any of your 3-year-olds. You're being mean. That's what you're doing. I sometimes when I see those though, like videos on TikTok, and you'll have people show their kids like little things, I'm like, you're doing this on purpose. That's what you're doing, okay? Like, I think it reminded me when I saw a parent who put on like Monsters Inc, and I was thinking, okay, like, why would you do that? And like, Monsters Inc is so tame, of course, but I'm thinking, like, sorry, they're obviously gonna cry lots. As in, of course, when like Sully says goodbye to Boo. I'm like, hello, that's not very nice. I was like, let's not show those movies. Instead, put on a movie like Shrek 2 and just call it a day. Like, do that, and that will be better. But yeah, like, obviously, yeah, so Spiderwick and the Hulk, of course, they're both live action. So I'm saying, like, both of those transformations, they are gnarly. Like, that's the right word to use. They're actually gnarly. Like, of course, oh my gosh, like, literally, when I saw the dad transform into the bad guy, I was literally like, again, that was crazy. And it was a huge what was a huge plot twist. So yeah, it was great on that chord. Well, like, literally, that's cinema. That is cinematic, and I love that, and I think that's great. And as well, but of course, him turning to that, like, really scared me. I think yeah, for a while I didn't used to watch it. It's the same thing again. It's the same thing as I said when I said about Coraline. I used to not be able to watch Coraline, or when I was really younger, I wasn't able to watch it. I mean, like, I only watched it once or twice. And then, of course, I did what you should do, I meant, as a person, which is just get, like, what's it called? Get accustomed to something, and also gain tolerance. And, like, and then you'll also be able to overcome your fear, you know. I know it sounds weird because I was said to you guys, oh yeah, I'm still afraid of spiders at, like, what, like 24, but, like, that's not the point. Like, and obviously, no, that's not the point. And again, they might be four-legged or whatever, but it doesn't matter. Like, everyone, as I said, everyone has their fears, but I'm telling you, I just think with movies anyways, like, I'm saying, if we're saying movies in specific, you can definitely grow out of it, and you can definitely make efforts in order to, because I'm saying, like, quickly it becomes one of your favorites. And that's why I said, so obviously both the statement, I think I wrote it on my story on the podcast account, but I said that obviously two of the movies on the list are obviously, like, ones I consider, like, to be my favorite. So it's like so yeah, I consider them to be my favorites because, of course, like, I was scared of them, but I like I digested them more, and then I was like, oh well, this doesn't scare me anymore. Like, this isn't even scary. So, and exactly, it's not, like, I was like, yeah, it's literally not scary anymore. And I think it's good to say that, this did used to scare me, but it doesn't anymore, and that's great. But not to say that I feel like I never really, also, when it comes to, like, fears and, like, being young, like, these movies, I never really had any nightmares about it, even though, actually, I think, to be honest, and of course that's why I put the Hulk at number one, because I think I probably did have some type of dream about the Hulk, actually. I think I did. I generally did. Like, I'm telling you, I think I had some kind of dream of just, like, getting, like, of course, like, when Bruce just gets bigger, and I think obviously his whole body just turns green, and I think I had some type of weird dream where, like, where someone was, like, transforming or something, but I can't even like try to, like, recall to you guys, like, what that was. What was even happening in that. I actually don't even know. Said, obviously, yeah, and I'm just gonna freestyle, but obviously I was like, I think if I was young today as well, sorry, I'm like, oh yeah, if I was a youngster today, I think what also would scare me, I think it would be No Face. I can't lie. No Face, although No Face is, like, we come to realize quickly in Spirited Away that No Face is not actually a villain, but again, like, No Face's, yeah, because again, No Face's whole appearance, like, No Face is literally what it says on the tin, that he has no face, and and it's like two black lines and no mouth, and then bro. And then also again in the movie, No Face devours up people, and then he had like he uses the people who he has inside of him to speak, and I was like, that's a bit scary. That kind of rubs me the wrong way a little bit. So yeah, I'm just saying, I meant if I still got afraid of things, of course, do you know what I mean, and I was young, seeing No Face, yeah, I don't even know, I would be so terrified. And this is an obvious one. This is a complete obvious one as well. I think then I'll wrap up as well. But a complete obvious one would definitely be any of the Titans from Attack on Titan. And Attack on Titan, of course, is one of my favorite animes. But I said if I had watched Attack on Titan as a child, oh no, because I watched Attack on Titan when I was a teen. So which is basically the best time. Oh, it's basically the best time to like is the best time to really, I guess, I want to say, I was going to say, not like, okay, I meant to say, like, as in, it's okay to watch anime at any ages, of course, but of course, there's only some that you could generally watch. And people act like Attack on Titan's a beginner anime, but it's not. And, like, I mean, it was for me, kind of, because, it was the first anime I watched, I meant when, like, I branched into my own anime journey because I was introduced to anime. So yeah, but I mean, when I went on my own journey after that, and it was like, oh, Attack on Titan obviously was kind of where I got into it properly. But it's not that I would exactly. It's not I would even tell anyone that it is a beginner one either. And I definitely wouldn't say that Monster is either. I'm telling you, Monster isn't either. Like, Monster is really scary. Yeah, Monster's really scary, and I just generally wouldn't really I just wouldn't really I really wouldn't like I really wouldn't be watching I wouldn't be watching either of those as a young person. And for me, I think also, like, when it comes to Monster as well, I think Monster has a lot of like I wouldn't to say, yeah, Monster has a lot of mature themes, I mean, so it's like I just don't even know. And I also think like Death Note does too, of course, because Death Note's about death. Like, bingo. But I'm saying, you, like, that's what I'm saying. So also I wouldn't have been watching those two. But as I said, like, if I really did like, I guess below 10, yeah, below 10, no, I actually wouldn't. I would have just turned it right off, because it's just like, it's just too traumatic. And I think it's crazy because when you first start watching Attack on Titan, you think, oh my god, this show is so wholesome. Then the whole place gets raided, and like and then people die, and then fact of the matter is they start dying all the time. Like, the complete shift is crazy. They start dying all the time, and it's like you can't even take a breath. You literally, you don't even take a breath, someone's dead. I'm actually like, I feel like the shift in Attack on Titan one that really needs to be studied, because what do you mean that, like, it would just be like, you'd be right, like, an episode would just start and someone would just die, and I'm like, well, okay, that's crazy. You didn't even ease us in. You didn't even give me a few minutes to grasp and to be like, oh, okay. But they're just like, boom, that's it. But anyways, that is today's episode. I'm like, oh, that has all got time for, guys and gals. But no, it's just because, yes, those are literally, like, those three movies are what really scared me. And it's like, I don't have a lot, because I was thinking, for the sake of the episode, yeah, I could just blag, but I was like, no. I was like, the same episode, I could just blag and say I'm scared. I was scared of all sorts of things, but I was like, no, I actually wasn't. There's actually, like, a lot. I feel like my childhood was pretty, yeah, it was pretty chillax. It was pretty easy breezy. I was not trying to watch anything that would scared me. And plus, like I said to you guys already, actually, I feel like I'm very much of a scaredy cat. I already admitted to you guys my biggest fear that I have. So I'm saying, like, I don't ever really try to put myself to watch all these scary things anyways. I'm like, I don't want to have nightmares, even though I do realize about myself, I don't have them anyways, regardless. I don't have them anyway. but it's still like, oh, I wouldn't put myself in a predicament where I might have them. Do you know what I mean? It's just not what I do. It's just not what I do. It's like, I basically sound that to you guys. I'm like, yeah, my childhood was pretty good. I was not watching anything scary. Life was all sunshine and rainbows and lollipops. It was all sunshine, rainbows, and lollipops. But thank you for listening, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace.